Hello everyone. This is Dr. Kishore Shetty from AJ Institute of Engineering and Technology, Mangalore, and I welcome you for my video lecture on air pollution, secondary pollutants. Dear friends, in the previous video we have discussed about primary pollutants. As you all know, contamination in air in the form of primary as well as secondary pollutants is called air pollution. Primary pollutants when reacts with each other or when it reacts with basic components of air forms new pollutants called secondary pollutants. For example, here we have sulfuric acid, nitric acid, carbonic acid, etc. as the secondary pollutants. Here sulfuric acid is formed as the result of acid rain. Oxides of sulfur, mainly sulfur dioxide or sulfur trioxide, when combined with rain, that is moisture or water, the basic component of air, it gives sulfuric acid. Similarly, oxides of nitrogen, mainly nitric oxide and nitrogen dioxide, are the primary pollutants. It reacts with the moisture and it forms nitric acid. Similarly, carbon dioxide when dissolved in water, it forms carbonic acid. Now, these are the results of the reaction between primary pollutants, maybe each other it reacts, or primary pollutants reacts with the basic component of air. When it comes to basic component of air, it contains oxygen, nitrogen, carbon dioxide, water vapor, etc. Primary pollutants participate in a complex of ultraviolet driven photochemical reaction. For example, ozone is also the secondary pollutant, and peroxyacetyl nitrate PAN is also the secondary pollutant, and we have hydrogen peroxide and aldehydes. So these are all once again the secondary pollutants. Now these secondary pollutants are formed as the result of complex reaction. It is because of the H nu, mainly the ultraviolet radiations, ultraviolet radiations, ultraviolet radiations. So these are the radiations emitted by the sun. So photochemical reaction, ultraviolet photochemical reaction results in ozone, peroxyacetyl nitrate and hydrogen peroxide and aldehydes. Oxygen reacts with the nascent oxygen to yield ozone. So ozone is the product of ultraviolet photochemical reaction. Similarly, peroxyacetyl nitrate and hydrogen peroxide, water when combines with nascent oxygen, it yields hydrogen peroxide. Similarly, aldehydes. Now these are all the photochemical reaction that takes place in the atmosphere. As a result, these compounds are formed. They are produced from the primary pollutants. Because of the reaction, it yields ozone or PAN or aldehydes or hydrogen oxide. Hydrogen peroxide. Now let us discuss ozone as the secondary pollutant, O3. Ozone consists of oxygen molecules which contain 3 oxygen atoms. Oxygen, that is O2, it undergoes homolytic fission to yield 2 nascent oxygens, atomic oxygens, or we call it as oxygen radical. Oxygen radical. So each containing 1 electron. So these are the oxygen radical. Oxygen radical. You know, in oxygen we have a bond between oxygen. double bond. Now here odd number of electrons, therefore here oxygen radical. Now this reaction because of the sunlight, so splitting of oxygen to give two nascent oxygens or oxygen radicals. Now ordinary oxygen combines with this radical oxygen and it yields ozone, O3. Ozone is formed. It is produced in the atmosphere when oxygen combines with oxygen radical in the presence of sunlight. So once again the photochemical reaction. Most ozone is found in the upper atmosphere where it acts as a screen to avoid the entry of harmful radiations from the sun. So ozone is a better barrier and it reflects or it consumes the harmful radiations which is coming out from the sun. Upper level of ozone is an important part of the Earth's life support system. Lower level of ozone is created when sunlight hits hydrocarbons and nitrogen oxides. We call it as photochemical reaction. So as we discussed, ozone source is mainly the photochemical reaction. Other sources of ground level ozone from oxides of nitrogen and volatile organic compounds. It's a colorless, highly irritating gas with a sweet smell. Ozone. It is colorless and a highly irritating gas. Highly irritating gas with the sweet smell. Ozone. Now let us see what are the effects of ozone. Effects of O3, ozone. The effects of ozone, mainly it causes premature mortality and major health issues. It affects vegetation, hinders crop productivity. Why? Because it hinders the rate of photosynthesis. It affects photosynthesis. Production of food in the case of plants by using carbon dioxide, water in the presence of sunlight. It can damage synthetic materials, textiles such as cotton and polyester, because ozone can give nascent oxygen or it can split up. As a result, it can react. As a result, it can damage synthetic and textiles. It causes asthma, bronchitis and lung cancer, and it can cause a mutation of ribonucleic acid and deoxynucleic acid. Dear friends, now let us speak about ozone depletion. First of all, let us know that ozone layer is the protective shield. It protects plants and animals and also human beings from harmful UV radiation which is coming out from the sun. But recent human activities introduced dangerous chemicals like CFC, fluorochlorocarbon, then also gaseous chlorine and bromine, Br2, then oxides of nitrogen monoxide, nitrogen dioxide, and many more impurities into the environment. Now these CFC, chlorine, bromine and nitrogen oxide, etc., which reacts with the ozone layer or it consumes ozone molecules and reduces its concentration. Now these compounds are responsible for the consumption of ozone layer, or these chemicals reacts with ozone. As a result, it causes ozone depletion. So decrease in concentration of ozone in the upper atmosphere because of the release of these chemicals is called ozone depletion, and later which results in ozone hole. Ozone can be destroyed by a number of free radical catalyst reactions. The most important is hydroxyl radical, that is OH minus ion, hydroxyl radical, OH minus ion, hydroxyl radical or hydroxyl ion. Then nitric oxide radical, that is NO minus. Then we have chlorine radical, that is Cl minus. Then we have bromine, Br minus. So ozone can also be destroyed by the action of these ions or radicals: hydroxyl ion, nitric oxide radical, chloride ion, and bromide ion. Chlorofluorocarbon, that is CFC, are used as coolants in refrigerators. So we use CFC as a coolant in refrigeration or refrigerator. In refrigerator we use this chlorofluorocarbon as a coolant, and we also use it in air conditioning, in air conditioners. Now this fluorochlorocarbon, it travels towards the stratosphere without being destroyed to the troposphere due to their low reactivity. Once in the stratosphere, these Cl minus free radicals are released from the parent compounds. The action of ultraviolet light takes place. That is CF, for example, CFCl3, because of the radiation, in the presence of electromagnetic radiation, it gives Cl minus ions, then CFCl2 radical. CFCl2 radical. Ozone being highly reactive, it can be easily attacked by the Cl minus free radical, and this is free radical, and it forms Cl free radical combines with ozone, and it gives ClO plus oxygen. It is called monoxide, chlorine monoxide, then oxygen. So fluorochlorocarbon, in the presence of electromagnetic radiation, it gives chlorine free radical, then CFCl2 free radical. So free radicals are the species which contains odd number of electrons. Now this chlorine free radical consumes ozone, and it forms ClO, then O2. Now this ClO can react with the second molecule of ozone, ClO formed, combines with the second molecule of ozone, and it results once again with the Cl radical, and it gives 2 moles of oxygen. Now here chlorine free radical is generated. It continues the chain reaction. Each atom of chlorine formed is capable of attacking several ozone molecules. As a result, this fluorochlorocarbon mainly involves in the depletion of ozone layer. Ozone is the protective layer present in the upper atmosphere. It acts as a protective shield for all plants and animals as well as human beings. So it inhibits the effect of ultraviolet radiations. So it consumes or it absorbs or repels these ultraviolet radiations. But nowadays we use many chemicals for our day-to-day life, like fluorochlorocarbon, chlorine gas, bromine gas, and the nitrogen oxide gases. Now these gases can cause absorption of ozone, or it spoils the ozone layer, or it depletes the ozone, and hence the condition we have ozone depletion. And ozone can also be damaged because of the radicals like hydroxyl radical OH, and nitrogen oxide radical, chlorine radical, and bromine radicals. Just to explain, in fluorochlorocarbon, now it is the coolant used in refrigerators as well as air conditioners. In the presence of radiation, the CFCl3 gives free radicals like chlorine free radical and CFCl free radical. So free radicals are very active, highly reactive. Now chlorine free radical consumes ozone and it gives ClO free radical and oxygen. So ClO further reacts with the ozone and it gives chlorine free radical and carbon and oxygen. Oxygen is formed. 2 oxygen is formed. So chlorine free radical formed, generated, it continues the chain reaction. As a result, it acts more and more ozone and it causes more ozone depletion. Now let us see what is the effects of ozone depletion. As we mentioned, ultraviolet radiation coming from the sun. The penetration of ultraviolet radiation increases. The penetration of UV radiation increases on Earth. And as a result, these UV radiations, ultraviolet radiations, when it reaches Earth, it can cause skin cancer, then it can cause sunburns, then skin aging, then cataracts, then lung cancer, and it also causes mutation in RNA and deoxyribonucleic acid DNA. It also affects the immune system and it also affects vegetarian system. Ozone chemicals can cause difficulty in breathing. These are the main cause: difficulty in breathing, chest pain, throat irritation, etc. Now how we can control the ozone depletion? So controlling ozone depletion, how we can? The minimizing fluorochlorocarbon. So we have to minimize the use of this. Minimize, or we have to avoid the use of this fluorochlorocarbon, because fluorochlorocarbon mainly consumes ozone and it causes ozone depletion. Or fluorochlorocarbon emission must be completely avoided by using exhaust gases monitoring and spreading the awareness among the citizens. Then we can control ozone depletion by encouraging the growth of plants that produce oxygen, and we need to discourage deforestation. By stopping deforestation, as a result, or we can grow more and more plants, so it produces more and more oxygen. Now these are the methods how we can control ozone depletion. Dear friends, this is about ozone and ozone depletion, effects of ozone depletion, and how we can control ozone depletion. In the next video, let us discuss about how we can control air pollution. Till then, take care. Goodbye. Thank you.